Judge, hey,
No.
how are you doing?
And
Can we approach on something? I'd like you to hear probable cause and something.
absolutely.
You have it pulled up?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
So it's for PROBABLE. Okay. On January 15th at approximately 6 p.m., officers initiated a reverse prostitution investigation. Undercover officers saw a defendant parked near where she was standing. Defendant rolled down his driver's side window. Officers approached the defendant and had a conversation sexual in nature. Defendant agreed to engage in sexual intercourse with the officer in exchange for $100. Defendant and officer arranged to meet at a motel. Defendant started driving in the direction of the motel. Defendant was then stopped and identified by marked units. During this, officers located a loaded firearm behind the front passenger seat.
During the search incident, sorry.
So it would have been yeah. My argument is that the possession of the gun was not while he was engaged in this alleged criminal activity.
And we would understand where he's coming from, Your Honor. However, he did have the loaded firearm behind the front passenger seat, and this was a search incident to arrest. So that's where we would be at.
We have the unusual circumstance here of my client is an aircraft mechanic. He works over at IAH. As a result of the gun case, not the solicitation case, the gun case, he lost his job. He can get it back because he's a member of the union. But the gun case is the only problem because he was charged with a gun. He lost his job. Now, I assume we're going to be able to work out the solicitation case with the stand.
I mean, I'm sure would probably work out in conjunction as well, you know? I mean, it's,
So, but in the meantime, he can't work. So,
let me read the statute. Hold on.
That one will have to finish ours. Oh, what if he's one of the seats? I can't.
I tried to replace my plumbing, but I forgot to shut off the water. It's been all you gotta do is glue stuff.
So I'm looking at 46.02. Unlawful carrying of a weapon. A person commits an offense if the person, one, intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly carries on or about his or her person a handgun at the time of the offense. So is this at the time of the offense? Right? I guess there lies the question.
He was proceeding to the motel where the incident that they agreed to would occur. So during the process.
So because, I mean, the offense is committed when? When the actually agreement took place.
Requires the way the charge reads, it requires the offense is complete at the time that an agreement is
reached.
Made. So
The agreement is made at the time, allegedly, when they're stopped. They had the wherewithal, if they wanted to, arrest him at that time, where subject to arrest at that time, they could have made the charge, so to speak, right? But they decided to wait.
Well, Your Honor, if I may, the statute reads they had honor about his person while committing criminal activity, and the firearm was in the vehicle while the offer was being made. It was just on the way to the hotel or the motel is when they stopped him and search incident to arrest for that solicitation. That's when they found the firearm. But the firearm was on or about the defendant's person while he was engaged in the offer for the solicitation.
And also, if I may, Judge, I would also say
it would make sense for safety procedures for them to make the arrest while he was on the way to the motel so that they could have followed him and it wasn't just that undercover officer there at the scene and making the arrest.
No, I don't know, because they could have arrested him at the time, right on the spot. I don't know why they would try to bolster the case, I guess, by saying that there's more evidence of guilt by actually going to the motel. I mean, theoretically, they could have arrested at the time that the agreement is made, right? It's a contract.
Judge, I think we would just stick to the way the statute is worded is while engaged and the firearm was there. And they could have arrested him earlier, but as Mackenzie knows, they do that routinely for safety purposes as well as perhaps as you
No.
mentioned, they could have done it for further evidence as well, further investigation. But
Prostitution cases I've seen is they arrest right on the spot, right then and there. They don't wait. I mean, the offense occurs right then and there.
and the offense did occur and while the defendant was in the vehicle, that's when the offense occurred. He was in the vehicle when they made that agreement and the firearm was in the vehicle. They found it right after they followed him to the motel. It was in the same transaction.
The offense was
I can
complete.
I agree with you. I'll find no problem. Okay.